This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast as well as my Facebook and YouTube channel entitled Spiritual Sense. Today is Tuesday, which is March the 26th. And so in this podcast, Facebook and YouTube channel go over topics involving the paranormal, occult, supernatural. So you can go on my platform, which is on Spreaker.com, and see a number of topics that I have on there in regarding the paranormal, occult, supernatural. So I do have a total of 5 podcasts on there. This being the most favorite one of all the podcasts that I typically record on. So I like to stress that this podcast, Facebook Live, YouTube channel is for entertainment, informational, and sometimes educational purposes. Just depends on which topic that you learn from or got information about that you didn't know prior to. Um, so I do in this podcast where I refer to as spiritual readings, basically, which are a tarot card reading. And before I proceed, I want to pay homage to Bash, Yemaya, Shango, Osiris, Ma'at, Ogun, and Oshun. Give me, Father, Supreme Being of all being, give me infinite wisdom, knowledge, capability, understanding as I do this reading. Um, so, that being, we're going to dive into for today, and I am crunched for time. So it may be about 3 minutes or less, or 35 minutes or less. And typically, when I do my readings, they are general readings, so it may be applicable to you, someone you know, or whatever the case may be. But oftentimes, my readings I feel, is insightful. Okay, so we're going to proceed. My readings comprises of 6 part: life, past history, love, family history, um, thoughts, faith, and belief, and then your energy or what have you. Many times the readings is a self reading because we all can learn in this life experience. I think when we get to the point where there's no more learning, then you know, you are stomping your potential. Um, so I'm going to pull out 3 cards. One, two, and they just random cards. I'm not even looking at the cards. So the life reading today with the Urban Tarot cards basically is um, we're going to say situation, obstacle. No, I'm going to say release, embody, and action. Something you need to release, something that's surrounding you, and what you need to do to facilitate that. So we want to do a 3 card today. Okay. So release. I have swiftness right now as something you need to release. Um, so it's something swiftness. I get number 8. On this card, 8 is significant with action, success, and recognition. So the action card, which is going to be this card, is the very significance in regarding this reading. Now, this one here is the High Priestess card, right, in regards to what the High Priestess represents. Um, so the High Priestess card, let's see. I don't even see the High Priestess on here, to be honest with you. I don't even have my guide down pat. Oh, yes, it is. I always overlook this. Okay, divine, feminine, intuition, spirituality, and emotions. So I think right now something is going on in terms of your emotions. Something lets me know it's empathy. Something lets me know that this is in regards to a female that has passed on, that is no longer here, and you are feeling some type of way in terms of empathy for this person. Something lets me know that you are suffering from what is called survivor's guilt. which is common because to be honest with you, I am suffering from that. I've been dealing with that for the last 10 years. So I trust and believe I understand what that feels like. But I honestly feel as though that there is some remorse within you. Survivor's guilt is what it lets me know is what this reading is applicable to. Right now, embody. I show the public defender. So I honestly feel as though you are feeling some type of way in regards to a woman who is no longer here that has transitioned over to another space. And um I think judgment. You are surrounded by a lot of judgment and guilt, survivor's guilt or survivor's remorse, however you want to refer to it as. Because I have been experiencing that for the better of 9, perhaps even 10 years now. So I trust me, I understand what that feels like. Let's get a little bit about your love. It's not a good feeling to feel. It's in the soul. That's the only way I can explain it. It's in this soul, and you will have to be the one that deals that can just put it this way. The only way you will understand it is to go through it. I mean, words just can't explain it. You just will have to go through it to understand. So let's get a little bit about your love. Let's get a synopsis about your love because I honestly feel as though the person that has transitioned over has a message for you to bring you some sense of solace and comfort and whatever the case may be. Something lets me know that you're doing a little bit of self sabotage where we all would do that when we are dealing with survivor's guilt. I think that's normal. Um, the normal process I feel when when you feel like you're someone else's blood is on your hands, so to speak, if that makes any sense to you. Let me turn this card over. I have the runner card. Runner is in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. I think, I read the cards, but in this situation, I think you are running from taunting spirits because I do believe that what you are experiencing is that person's life's review, like moments that led up to their demise or their spiritual transition, and you're picking up empathetically the sensibility of how they felt, and somehow you don't like that. This is what it feels like when oftentimes when people um turn against oneself and may present suicidal ideations or even homicidal ideations is when that spectrum or that existence meets this one and it's supernatural, like words cannot explain it. I wasn't told this in Bible study or church. So what the hell is this? Catch my drift, and it would literally scare you to death to where it facilitate a lot of the violence, I believe. Um, I have the chaser card. Chaser is in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. I honestly feel as though you're running because you're being chased. That's what it lets me know. You're being chased. And yes, energies do manifest into this time in existence to help to facilitate a transition. I think survivor's guilt works similarly to that is when you feel as though you have helped to contribute to the demise of someone or someone's or bodies, and is this is what they don't speak about or what they don't talk about on TV because see, oftentimes in the scheme of our mind, when we feel like we need to vindicate or we have allowed rage or anger to take over us, and the only thing we can see is putting a stop to it by what? Facilitating a transition, okay? But you don't see the consequences of it. Like we can show it by way of being locked up in jail, prison, or whatever the case may be, but you don't see the spiritual sense of what that means when you facilitate the act of a spiritual transition, whether it's justified or not, because it. Now, check this out. I hate to seem like I'm speaking out both sides of my neck or being hypocritical, okay? Because I do believe, based on our time in existence, you do have homicide that is justified if you are doing it to protect yourself or someone else, okay? Justified. However, that does not mean that you would not pay the price spiritually, even if it is justified. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about. That's the gist of how the enemy will set you up for to lose your soul. I did my podcast a couple of days ago, Sunday, about lost souls and soul restoration and things of that sort, because just because you it's justified does not mean that you would not be bothered or affected by it. Yes, you will. The next card I get, key on the ring. So, um, many options, decisions, unconventional, string along, one night stand. I think this is how the enemy plays on you. That's what it lets me know. You need to find some sense of closure, however you can go about with that. I'm not a therapist, so I can only make suggestions. But you're gonna have to find some sense of closure, because I think um some unfavorable things are presented to you to taunt you. That's what I feel. We all would experience this. So let's get a little bit on past history. Again, this podcast is for entertainment purposes. The podcast is for entertainment purposes. It is optional. These are my opinions. This is not something that could be admissible in court or anything of the sort. It is my opinions, okay? Based on what this life experience has presented to me. So we're going to pull out past history. But I do believe that this reading is applicable to someone that is suffering from what is called survivor's remorse or guilt, or however the phrase is referred to. It's not a good feeling to feel. I'll be honest about it. It's not. I have mother here. I have the mother card that shows up. So I don't know if this is in reference to a mother that feels this way or your mother, but I get the mother card that shows up. I get high priest or priestess card that shows up again. So that's a strong feminine. Excuse me. This is a strong feminine energy that I'm picking up, and regarding this so-called survivor's remorse or survivor's guilt. For those who don't know what survivor's guilt or survivor's remorse is, um, it's when somebody died, right? And you were somehow spared. And I'm going to go a little farther and put my little 2 cents on it, because I'm going to say, particularly when you feel like you're not justified in staying here, like to see somebody suffer who truly did not deserve it. And here you are, done did some very unfavorable things and somehow was spared, if that makes any sense. So that's my synopsis on survivor's guilt or survivor's remorse. But I do feel as though this is what's over this reading right now, is to speak on somebody who feels as though that they may have contributed to the demise of somebody or bodies, if that makes any sense, and how one can receive restoration. Now I have scribe or writer. Scribe or writer. I don't know if it's something written down regarding this situation, like perhaps in print or magazine or article, journal, or book, or whatever the case may be. But something lets me know that it was something that was noted. It's the point. Like, this is not by hearsay. Somebody has made an account of what transpired. All right, the next thing I'm going to pull is thoughts, faith, and belief. So, what are the thoughts, faith, and belief surrounding this situation? Thoughts, faith, and belief card. Something lets me know that this person transitioned as a result of some things that are traumatic. And what does that mean, traumatic? Something that will you just can't get over. Memorable, notable. We have strength card to show up. The strength card to show up in this reading. I think this is the message that she wants to relate to you. She mentions inner power, persistence, courage, and persuasion. So I think um, she wants you to know that you are strong. You can you. I mean, to bring you some sense of solace and closure. I am fine. It's what it lets me know. I have Page of Swords here. Page oftentimes relates to in the past. Swords relates to mind, intellect, and things of that sort. Um, Page relates to bringing newness and promise. Represents children. Um, Swords relates to the mind and intellect, action, knowledge, power, and change. So I honestly feel as though um, she wants it to be known that she is okay and you will be as well. I think ultimately she wants you to feel some sense of solace. In other words, if that makes any sense to you, bring some type of closure to you. Of course, we want to keep my name notably and and don't forget my the essence of me and what I live for and things like that, because I have the scribe and writer card. So we just don't want to talk about it. We want to write things down and have things kept away for those to come, is what it lets me know. But ultimately, we want to bring some sense of closure to you so you can find peace within you. The next card I have Three of Cups here. What does three represent? Groups, expansion, expression. So I think she wants you all to come together. Cups relates to feelings and emotions, creativity, relationships, intuition, and compassion, and show compassion for one another. I think that is the key word in regarding your feelings and compassion. Ultimately, you need to come together and learn from what the things that I went through in my life and be a living testament for that, for those to come, for generations to come. Outsiders may don't want to hear it, but for generations to come, my legacy lives on. It's the importance of what I think is the message is to be conveyed. That's what I think the message that is to be conveyed in regarding this reading for today. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull up a little bit of family history because I honestly feel as though that is the message from whoever this person is. Could very well be a mother figure. It's what it lets me know. Is feminine energy. I do gather that it's feminine energy. So, well, what are some of the what is to be conveyed regarding what this feminine energy is wanting to what was this the family want it to be known about the transition of this person. I have the Sense of Wands card, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull up my Egyptian tarot guide, which which in turn is going to give us a synopsis about what the message is in terms of family history. Now, ones relates to willpower, life force, passion, creativity, ego, and personality. So, what is something that they want the message that is being conveyed to you in terms of family? This is personal. Everybody is not going to understand or even give a damn about what's going on within your family. It takes from within. It's the point. You have to pull from within. Six represents harmony, community, and cooperation. So you cannot expect outsiders to what? Give a damn about your personal endeavors and things that has transpired moments in time. It's going to take what? Us, family, to give a damn. It's the point. And I think that's the message that she wants to be conveyed right now. That's what it lets me know. So the Six of Wands, Annabis Sketchers. And let me hold this card up. The God of the Dead, hidden behind the interlacing of phenomenal reality, represents the fleetingness of earthly conquest. So the positive mentions crowning of dreams. I honestly feel as though that she's wanting to capture you in your the way she's being perceived. She wanted to be in a good fashion for those to come, so they would know, and her legacy will live on. Public honors. I got the public defender card. She wants you to be her advocate for her. Don't. I mean, I understand people because I'm one of those. They want to hear the realism about or the dirt on people, but maintain her dignity and her integrity in the essence of her life. Is ultimately is what I think she wants conveyed. Overcoming of obstacles. You will overcome you know, obstacles or whatever negative energy that comes at you. And her testament will help to guide you for those younger in the generations to come. Rebirth. Rebirth. There will come a time when the things that are spoken to you as a child, when you have a rebirth or a spiritual renewing, where it will hit home. So it's easy to sit here and bump gums, but when you're going through the storm, that's when you would get it. Now, the negative, this is what gravitates. I have betrayer. So I do believe by way of taunting spirits, you'll begin to see adversity or contrast as to what you should do. If you see backstabbing, gossiping, and mischief amongst others, that there, in a sense, is to, okay, this is not what I'm to do. Treachery by acquaintances. You will see some things to manifest right before your eyes that will let you know to be grateful for this community or this coming together, if that makes any sense. Um, Employees who can lose faith in their employers. I honestly feel as though, and they just put that in there. That's the extra thing. Um, employers, I see it more spiritual. So we can equate that and say, okay, those who are coming in, how they don't have faith in those who are what as an employer. We're going to make it more family oriented because I do believe that this reading is applicable to someone who feels some sense of survivor's guilt or remorse because of the demise of someone. That's what I feel. Now, we're going to go into your energy because I do feel as though she wants to bring closure to you to where you can move forward. We all will feel guilty about something. It says clear your space. So if that makes any sense to you, you're gonna have to clear your space, and that's your head space, environmental wise. I mean, as such. So you can find you some sense of closure. Archangel Dophiel, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use feng shui. Begin to take note of, I said landmarks and things of that sort because God does have a way of enlightening you about the powers that may be. What is your life's purpose? Let's get your life's purpose. You don't want to go down in history being something of a dark side. Now, I'm one of these ones. I'll be quick to tell you, you can't care about how people think about you, and that's true because people are going to think and feel how they want to. But what they write about you, you don't want to go down in history as such as that. You want to go down in history notable is what you want to do, and you want your legacy to live on, and you want the highlights of who you are as an individual to be amplified. You don't want to go down in history being something unfavorable. I have freedom. You're free to do what you choose. Yeah, you are free to do what you choose and you have free will, but you don't want to go down in history being something that is truly not of who you are as an individual. So I think this reading is about survivor's remorse, survivor's guilt, but ultimately about character. And I think this is what your family wants conveyed to you is character. Because I'll be wanting to tell you, I'll be quick to say, I don't give a damn how they feel about me. And you really can't worry how people feel about me. But just because you don't give a damn does not mean you just do whatever. Because God give you free will and free choice to set your ass up too. And this is it. This is affirmation. I have affirmation card here. Affirming. I listen to myself and acknowledge my needs. I assert myself and retain my power. I am brave and gentle. I don't have to be afraid of others. I respect myself and I am respected by others. So say this to yourself because something lets me know that you do not feel respected by others nor your self. Something lets me know that you self sabotage because you truly have um, a poor outlook on yourself and you try to put on this facade and this alter ego, but ultimately those who are spiritually honed to see it can see straight through it as to what it is. Because once God has given you enlightenment about we are all spiritual related, whether it be favorable or unfavorable, and how the advent of certain things manifested in this time and existence, then you will see it as such. He will show it to you. So it said, what is my body telling me right now? What is my body telling me right now? I honestly feel as though you need to get yourself right. Strength card is here. You're running, you're being chased. I honestly feel as though you are. You are. And I think you are dealing with a lot of temptation because of this guilt that you're feeling. Something lets me know that you're self sabotaging. We all will go through this in life where we will begin to turn against oneself because the battle is for the soul, and we all would deal with these same dilemmas and challenges in this life experience. It says our body speaks to us through physical pain or discomfort. Our body sends messages for us to look more deeply, see the trapped emotions, the lurking fears, and belief that limit you. Listen to your physical body, and you will be led to the source of your pain. It's time to get in your heal. It's time to get your healing on. Is what it mentions. I honestly feel as though you feel a call on you. Is what I feel to bring you some sense of solace. You want to pray, repent. As I speak to you, I speak to myself, and turn away from those things. You know those things are not notable. Your family lineage does not want you to go down in history being a da 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 da. Because you shouldn't care about how people think of you, but just because you don't care about how people think of you does not mean you just do whatever you feel. That's not how it works. Today's Soul's Action, get the book Heal Your Body by Louise L. Hay and find the answers toward which your body is guiding you. So I honestly feel as though you need to connect with your soul, a soul connection, because oftentimes God will allow things to happen and manifest in our lives when He wants you to come to Him, and He's going to pretty much put it into perspective for you to where you're able to see life for what it truly is. Similar kind of sort of to what I mentioned in my podcast as well as Facebook um, and YouTube visual presentation about the rapture. Pretty much once the eyes has been spiritually honed to see, then you'll begin to understand and get a synopsis as to what this life experience is all about and what is relevant and what is not. So I am going to conclude this episode of Spiritual Sense speaking on the spiritual reading. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.